Action slogan: Magnus did nothing wrong. It's the most famous meme in Warhammer. It's a joke, a faction slogan, and a way to annoy Space Wolf players at tournaments. But it's also the most tragic legal defense in galactic history. Because if you look at the evidence, strictly speaking, he didn't act with malice. He acted with arrogance. He acted with desperation. He acted with enough hubris to crack the foundation of reality. But he never once wanted to hurt the Imperium. That's the horror of the Thousand Sons. They aren't villains who twirl mustaches and plot demise. They are the road to hell, paved with the best intentions you've ever seen. To understand why the did nothing wrong argument actually holds water, we have to look at who Magnus was before the heresy. Picture a Primarch who is essentially a giant, red, magical nerd. While Leman Russ was drinking mead and wrestling krakens, Magnus was in the library. He was the Emperor's reflection. Not the conqueror, but the visionary. The man who believed that the mind was the final frontier. His legion, the Thousand Sons, wasn't just an army. It was a university with bolters. They governed a planet called Prospero, and it was a paradise. No pollution, no crime. Just gleaming pyramids of glass and gold, where the citizens debated philosophy and learned telekinesis. It was the future the Emperor promised, but there was a flaw in the design: the flesh change. The Thousand Sons were genetically unstable. Randomly, violently, they would mutate into writhing chaos spawn. It was a death sentence written in their DNA. Magnus fixed it. He bargained with powers he didn't understand, sacrificed an eye, and stabilized his sons. He saved them. This is the first strike against him. He saved his family. Is that a crime? In the grim darkness of the far future, apparently, yes. Because the cure was a loan from Tzeentch and the interest rate was variable. But Magnus didn't know that. He thought he had mastered the war. He treated the chaotic sea of souls like a science experiment that just needed better safety goggles. Then came the Council of Nicaea. The Emperor, pressured by the other Primarchs who feared sorcery, called the trial. Mortarion hated magic because of his trauma. Leman Russ hated magic because he was a hypocrite who called his own wizards rune priests. The verdict was absolute. The Emperor banned the use of psychic powers for anything other than navigation and communication. He grounded the Thousand Sons. He looked at a bird he designed to fly and told it to walk. Magnus was devastated. He believed the Emperor was making a tactical error, blinding humanity to the true nature of the universe, and he was right. That's the bitter pill. Magnus was correct that ignorance is not a shield. Then the heresy begins. Magnus is on Prospero, brooding, looking into the warp, which he technically isn't supposed to do. He sees the future. He sees Horus Lupercal, the War Master, falling to chaos on the moon of Davin. He sees the betrayal that will burn the galaxy. He has to warn his father. This is the moment, the do-nothing-wrong moment. He tries standard astropathic communication. It's too slow. The warp storms are too thick. A message could take months. Horus will have turned by then. Magnus does the math. One broken rule versus the survival of the Imperium. If he breaks the Edict of Nicaea to save the Emperor's life, surely he'll be forgiven. He decides to astral project. He gathers the cabals of his legion and prepares a spell of massive magnitude. He is going to send his mind directly to Terra. But there's a wall. A psychic barrier around the Imperial Palace. Magnus pushes. It pushes back. He pushes harder. He feels a surge of power, a helpful boost from the warp, courtesy of Tzeentch again, and he smashes through. He arrives in the throne room. He delivers the message. Horus has betrayed you. And then he looks around. He hasn't just